Okay, it took me a lot longer to get that set up than I wanted it to, unfortunately. So, basically, we've got a challenge set up, a new Animal Crossing challenge. I'm going to be playing the game, but at first I wanted to announce it. And, make sure I've got everything pulled up. Pretty sure I do. Let me check I don't know if I can check the audio on this really quick. How do I sound? Oh, I sound fine. Okay, cool. So I sound good. So, it took me so long, my screen's starting to go black. Okay, so basically, the idea is that we have this challenge that you can restart, or you don't have to restart. I just want to introduce everybody to like what's going on. So let me pull these up. Where did I group these? Oh, I'm silly. Okay, here we go. Okay, so the first thing we've got is, let me change our studio mode. This is the challenge info, and I'll read it all to you so that if you were just listening, you can participate. Villagers on your island are furious and are demanding compensation. Our typically friendly villagers are furious. They've been told by Tom Nook for over 4 years that they have to do exactly what their resident representative tells them to do, and they're sick of it. I understand. I don't like people telling me what to do either. They never represented what it is that I want anyways, so why do they get all the say in what happens around here? Commented one angry anonymous duck. I'm sure it's quite anonymous. Nobody will ever guess. We have needs and wants too, and I don't even know what cottagecore is, which is super funny considering the anonymous duck. Anyways, Tom Nook, after careful consideration, has decided that due to overwhelming demand, the villagers too can have a say about what's going on in their own hometowns. However, only if they get jobs. So the villagers have banded together and finally figured out what they can do to contribute to their beautiful islands, and they want the resident representative, you, to help them show off all the hard work they've been doing. Resident reps are now forced by management to decorate by the standards of their people or animals. Okay, so that's number one. That's kind of like the lore behind it, but also the vibe behind it is the second part. Pretty much what my friends and I have gathered together and discussed about it is resident representatives everywhere are tired of having all the power anyways. It didn't always used to be this way, one commented. I remember when I didn't even know who was going to be in my village from one week to the next. It was sad to see my friends go, but it was always nice developing new memories with someone I'd never even met before who decided that my town was where they wanted to call home. I wish it could be like that again. Perhaps it can. Heavy is the head that wears the crown, and only you can choose to take it off. So that's kind of about the challenges. You are trying to relinquish control. Right? So you're relinquishing control of everything that you're used to doing in Animal Crossing New Horizons, and kind of going back to the days of old where the original concept of Animal Crossing was that you're moving to a new town and you don't know anybody and you're just trying to kind of make your place in their world. Right? And it's gotten to the point where it's like you're basically a god now. You can do whatever you want. Nobody says no. Nobody's mad at you. Nobody does anything wrong. You're just always in a good place with your villagers and everything. And you can just leave and come back whenever. But now we're kind of giving it the role play element of, no, your villagers are mad. They want compensation. They want to be represented. They want to be the ones in power. They want to be... they've been there. I would say been there the longest. Technically, I guess you have, because you're showing up with 2 villagers and you're kind of at the start of it all. But that's in and of itself is like kind of against what it was supposed to be about. Like, you're not supposed to be there from the beginning of the scene, beginning of like the village. You're supposed to be coming in an already existing town. And yeah, so basically this is taking that away, kind of. I mean, you're still going to be showing up in the beginnings or whatever, but now it's not about how do you want to decorate, what do you want this to look like or whatever. It's about like decorating based on your villagers' jobs. So the rules are as follows. Here, and let me pull this up on my screen too. Okay. You must decorate the area around the villagers' homes according to their professions. And I've got a list. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages. Technically, it's more than that because I have them doubled up. Worth of villagers. 413 villagers and all have different jobs. Occasionally, some duplicates, but mostly they have their own jobs. And you have to decorate around your villager homes according to their professions. In addition to, I guess that'll come up. If a villager asks to leave, you must say yes. This goes back to, you know, you get the older games where you didn't really have that say. You didn't really have that control over, you know, whether or not a villager will choose to stay or choose to go. You just, you know, you do good with what time you have. And also that kind of changes it up a bit because there's no really finishing the island when, oh, you're like, oh, everything's fine. Finally, Gala's got her library and blah, 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 blah. And then Gala's like, oh, I'm going to go. And suddenly Benedict is here and he wants to be an astronaut for some reason. So you have to change that up. Okay, number 3. If you get a campsite villager, you must spend at least 20 minutes convincing the campsite villager to move to your island. I know how long. I have played many challenges where you have to accept the one that comes to your campsite village, or campsite. You have to accept the campsite villager that comes to your campsite, and no matter what. And I've been there for probably a couple hours trying to get them to come, and then I'll reset because they wanted to kick out a villager I didn't want to kick out. Well, I mean, don't do that. Just like spend 20 minutes, give it the good old college try. And I personally I'm not going to sit here and tell you not to. I would personally recommend just whoever they want to kick out, let them kick them out, because that's just that kind of, it removes the control from you. You know, that's the whole point of this challenge, is to not have all the control. So if you're constantly resetting so that you can make sure it kicks out who you want to kick out, that kind of negates the purpose, I think. But I'm not going to tell you what to do. Like, I mean, it's your personal choice, it's your island, however you want to do it. If there's a particular villager you're attached to or something like that, and you don't want them to go just yet, then yeah, reset. Okay, do what you got to do. Okay, number 4, no amiibos except to replace villagers due to phobias. I don't know if there's a lot of conversation about villager phobias in the Animal Crossing community, but I personally have friends that have certain villager phobias. My best friend, in fact, cannot, like with the anteaters, just can't. It's their noses. She just doesn't like them. And it really, really freaks her out. So she doesn't do anything with anteaters. And then I have a couple others. Same with the kangaroos. I personally don't like the kangaroos because I don't really like kids all that much, to be honest. And I don't know. Just the idea of kangaroos sitting in pouches is, it's a weird, gross thing to me. But like I personally I think I can get over it. If I find myself unable to handle the ick that I feel, then I won't have a problem using an amiibo either, but I probably won't. But that is personal choice. We'll get to that as well. Number 5, maximum of 5 NMT for villager hunts, but autofill is recommended. I recommend autofill just because, once again, it's about removing that control. But if you do want to use Nook Mile tickets to go on little villager hunts because you find that aspect of the game really fun, then try to limit it to about 5, and that should at least relinquish some of the control. Number 6, multiplayer is recommended to help get decorations, but it's not required. There's not really an economy situation in this game, so I know that a lot of my friends and stuff like that didn't really like a lot of the economy rules because they felt very restricting. And there were some where it was like you were forced to buy things from other players. This isn't and like forced to I'm not saying anything bad about Pat's challenge. Pat's challenges were great, but they sometimes seemed a little needlessly like you'd have to pay to go to someone's village or something, or someone's island. And we like visiting each other all the time, not necessarily having to pay to do it. And a lot of the times I wound up finding myself gifting stuff to my friends anyways, so that I wouldn't have to do the whole charging thing. So like if you want to help each other get decorations because you're like, oh, I heard that you have a financial analyst and I have a baker, can I trade you this typewriter for this cupcake? I don't know. Example. You don't have to have friends help you get decorations either. So you can do this single player, you can do this whatever. And like I said, none of this is, you don't have to reset your island either. You can just keep your island the way it is if that's the way that you like it. But continue on with this challenge because, you know, it's just a new and exciting way. It'll keep changing. Number 7 is the occasional design challenges. There are going to be occasional design challenges where your villagers are going to be so angry and they demand that you make something very specific on your island. And by very specific, I mean it's broadly specific. It's going to be like something along the lines of, we want a garden or we want a water feature or something like that, and you just have to find a way to make that work on your island. And it's just, I guess they would kind of sort of have something like that, I think, in New Leaf, where they would ask for a public works commission and that would wind up going to the town hall and you would have to do that to make them happy or something. I don't know. I didn't play a lot of New Leaf. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I did. I know that that was at least what I experienced as I started like demanding a fountain or something. I don't know. But kind of like that. So occasionally, and it'll be very occasional, but keep an ear out for those. Number 8, feel free to roleplay your villagers with their new professions for more fun. How hilarious will it be to roleplay with your villagers again? Like, so many challenges nowadays neglect the villagers' wants and needs. They're like, mostly the wants and needs that people want is like, I want a pretty villager, I don't want an ugly villager, I want to fit my aesthetic, I want to make sure that it's in the top 10 best villagers or whatever. But they don't take into account what it is that the villagers themselves want, and that's because a lot of the villagers, well, not a lot, most of the villagers in this game are pretty flat. So what we're doing is we're essentially giving them a little bit of a backstory with their jobs, and you can kind of try and roleplay around it, and it sounds like it could be fun. They can make comments that seem to negate everything against, you know, what it is that their job would imply, and you can just be like, oh, shocking. I don't know. Something like that. 9. If you have multiple villagers with the same profession, you must still decorate both. There are 413 villagers. I did my absolute best, even teamed up with people, to make sure there were not any duplicates. However, there are some duplicates. I'm gonna say like maybe maximum of 4 have the same job. And I try to give it as much variety, so like there would be like, I don't know, like bakers or chefs or florists or something like that. A lot of villagers really wanted that, and I tried to mix it up as best I could. Some of them have very similar jobs, like a florist and a horticulture specialist or something. You know, feel free to mix those up if you want. You can try and you could do it to where they both have exactly the same yard or whatever it is, however you wind up doing it, the same decorations. But ultimately, yeah, this is a villager decoration challenge. They could have the same yards, or they could have, you know, you can try and be a little bit more specific with it. You can try and be more creative with it. The whole point is being creative with it. You know, you use it interpret it however you want. We've got a few jobs that are really open to interpretation, and you can do with that information what you will. Have fun with it. That's the whole point. And number 10, the most important, if you are not enjoying the challenge, stop doing the challenge, because the whole point of Animal Crossing is to have fun. It is a game. We want you to have a good time. We want you to have fun. And if you're not having fun, there's no point. So just stop. Just do something else. I have the villager. I'm not going to go through each of these, but I will just kind of show you. Like, I'm going to pull them all up. I'm not going to discuss each and every single one of them, but these are all the villager jobs that everybody's been assigned. And it's a long list. We got some credits at the end. I'm going to go ahead and list out the credits as well, because they are some awesome people, and I forgot to write one down, and I feel really bad about it. So I want to make sure to say that person's name out loud. Okay, credits. Me. I worked very hard on it. And obviously you've got my my stream information, but if you're watching this, then you probably already have it, unless you're watching the VOD on YouTube, and in which case, hey, go check me out on Kick. Wanderer, none of these other people provided any kind of like YouTube information. These are all friends on Discord, so I'm not entirely sure they even have a YouTube. If they do, they don't talk about it. Let's see, we've got Wanderer, who is known as Ravenswind on Discord, Mayo, who is known as Myotis Art on Discord. She does, both of them do some amazing art, and I love them. Lee and Jamie and Sonia, Micah, Shiloh, Louisa, Morgan, part of the Mist Haven system. Butters and Marissa, our lovely Discord owner, right down here. She's amazing. Everybody on this list is amazing. I love all of them, and